Anybody who's had a job has probably dreamed of retiring early. The problem is when you actually get there, that's when the doubt starts to creep in. This manifests itself in one of two ways. Either one more year syndrome. Oh, I'll just work one more year. Maybe I don't have quite enough money. I'll just buy one more piece of real estate, one more rental property. I'll just save an extra 10,000, an extra 100,000 in the old 401k. And then we delay that early retirement that seems to never happen for a lot of people. Or you actually pull the plug, you pull the trigger, you retire, you walk away, you quit. You have the dream of early retirement, laying by the pool in Florida all day long. Except that doubt still starts to creep in. Should I have worked one more year? Should I have bought one more piece of real estate? Today I'm going to talk about those feelings because I've been going through that a little bit myself ever since I got back from Spain and I've been back here in America. The drive to make more money is sort of creeping back into my head. So I want to talk about how that comes to fruition if you do make it to early retirement. This is the Retirement Mentality Channel. It's a place where I'm going to change your mentality about retirement, and I try to do that by bringing my own experiences and my own stories of life, of failures, of successes to you guys to try to help you think of early retirement or just regular retirement in a different way that maybe no one else is talking about on the old internets. I'm not just using AI to put together the 5 things nobody tells you about. I'm trying to use my real life experience. So I hope you guys appreciate that. I'm trying to be authentic, and I hope that gets me a like and a subscribe down there. So let's talk about the idea of early retirement. Early retirement means different things to different people. I sort of semi-retired at 45. I moved down to the U.S. Virgin Islands and I got my real estate license and I kind of dabbled with that. I like to think once of the FIRE movement, once you hit financial independence, it's not just retire early. The younger you are, the more you may want to have or may even need to have some recreational employment. So I call it financial independence recreational employment. Because I didn't even living in the Virgin Islands, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. I couldn't just sit on the beach all day. It's actually how these YouTube channels were born. I had this one, I started one about beach gear reviews. Also, I got a lot of free beach gear sent to me and then I do a video about it. I thought that was a lot of fun. But we still need things to fill our days. And especially on an island, there were less choices. So doing this YouTube filled a lot of my day. But the point is, early retirement doesn't mean you do nothing. You can do recreational employment, you can do passion projects, you can volunteer. So anybody who says you're not retired, you have rental properties, or you're not retired, you have a YouTube channel, you're not retired, you have a YouTube channel and rental properties and this and that, you're not even retired. That's just coming from people that don't think they're ever going to be able to retire. They just want to feel better that you're not retired either. So is early retirement really the dream that it's made out to be? Let's start by talking about why people want to even retire early. The more money you can save and put into the bank, the better that retirement's going to be. So why would you want to get out early? For many people, they have a toxic work environment. Their job may be causing them to have health problems, to be internally sick, to mentally sick, or having stomach ulcers, or there's a lot of reasons people want to just get out of high stress jobs or jobs that they hate. A lot of people may have the desire to travel. That was one of the things that I thought we would do after retirement was to travel more. We seem to be just buying houses in more places, but traveling is a big one for most people. And just that financial independence. Once you hit the financial independence, for some people like me, it was like, why do I want to keep working if I don't have to? I have the money from my rental properties that I can live off of. So why do I want to just keep amassing more? But those expectations don't always match with reality. So that's what we're going to talk about, that difference between what you think early retirement is going to look like and the utopian society you think you're going to be in afterwards. So as I was jotting down some notes for this video, I came up with 4 things that I think might trigger those thoughts of second guessing yourself into your brain. And the first one, for a lot of people, is loss of identity. That one is not so much for me. I do still have my real estate license, so I can sell real estate. I just don't do postcards or mailers, or I don't try to promote myself. I pretty much just do deals for friends and family. If somebody wants to buy something or sell something, I do the marketing efforts for those listings that I might get, but I'm not trying to solicit new buyers and sellers that I've never worked with before. I've sold one house every year for the past 2 or 3 years, just for a buddy of mine here and there. But that, for me, that's a little bit of recreational employment. It brings a little bit of money in and keeps me busy. And so I don't have my identity wrapped up in being a realtor. But for a lot of people who worked 40 or 50 years in the same job, that might be a case. And, it's one thing to lose that identity, but they also lose the structure. So for me, I did have a little bit more structure. I tried to work in the mornings and play in the afternoons, or do these activities on Mondays, or do these marketing activities on Wednesdays. And so you lose a lot of that structure when you don't have a job to go to. So what I tried to do was like pickleball on Tuesdays, and when we lived in the Virgin Islands, we go sailing on Thursdays. And I try to keep some things structured in my life like that, and you can schedule some of those things in that helps you sort of transition into the retirement lifestyle. The second one is the big one. It's financial insecurity. Look, none of us know how long we're going to live, and none of us know if we're ever going to get sick, and if there's going to be a solar flare that knocks out the power grid, or whatever aliens come. Whenever my wife is stressing about things that have never happened, I always say, and aliens can come. So we don't know what's unforeseen in our future. You just have to get to a point where you know what your budget looks like, you know what your fixed expenses are, and you know what your income from your investments is going to be, and what your padding is of your 401k or your stocks or whatever your emergency fund. Once you've got all that set up and it looks pretty good, then it's just emotional when you pull the plug. And guaranteed, you're going to question it. When the hard thing about goals is attaining them. Most people have these goals that they never reach, but when you reach the goal, that's where the doubt comes in, and that's where you question yourself, and you question your decisions, and you question the goal, and that even in the first place. And that's why goalposts move all the time. So that's really the hard part. The third one is general social changes. Your friends are probably still at work if you're retiring early. So if you had all of your friend base at work, and you went to happy hours, and those were your fishing buddies or your tennis buddies or your golf buddies or your go shopping girl buddies, whatever it was, those people are going to still be at work, and their lives are going to be the same. Your life is the one changing. You're the one exiting the workforce and changing your lifestyle. So you're going to have to either make a greater effort to hang out with those people or find new people to hang out with. And you find yourself just with less interactions in general. So you have to find ways to get out and meet new people, join clubs, and that sort of thing. You can really start to kind of feel disconnected, and then that can lead to more couch time. And that's what we want to avoid, is being on the couch and saying, I'm bored. Why did I retire in the first place? And the fourth one is just adjusting to the new lifestyle. It doesn't just happen overnight. You don't just go from a worker bee working 10 hours a day to a non-worker bee doing nothing for 10 hours a day. It takes some adjustment. Even if you're going to throw travel into the mix, you can get travel fatigue, you can get homesick. There's a lot of things. You can miss family, you can miss friends. So just adjusting to the life takes some time. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. They think that once I quit work, everything's going to be perfect. So what are the signs that you're starting to second guess your early retirement decision? One big one is checking your finances every 5 minutes. I have been guilty of that lately, watching the stock market too much. I don't even have that much in the stock market. Mostly I'm in real estate. But I finally got everything into the stock market, and then I watched it like a hawk. And if it started going down, I started panicking. And that's a sign that I was afraid I didn't have enough money, I think. And also, it could just be a sign I want to lose my hard-earned money in the stock market, because I'm a real estate guy. And it's hard for us real estate guys to put our money in the stock market, and vice versa, I think. You also might start thinking about going back to work. You also might start just thinking you're bored, and why did I leave work in the first place? And just kind of feeling like you have no direction. So the reason I'm making this video, what happened for me was, after being in Spain for the summer, sorry, I got a bug buzzing around my ankle. So for me, after spending the summer in Spain on my mountainside, clearing land, and just not really thinking about work very much at all, really. And then I came back here to the US, and I go on a walk around the neighborhood to get my exercise in, to try to stay fit here. And I just see all the new construction, and I see all the for sale signs, and I see these people putting in pools at their vacation rentals and making just all this activity going on. And I see like one guy clearly is building 5 new houses on the same road, because they all look the same and they have the same size. And I just think, maybe I should have built one more house, or maybe I should have bought one more property, or maybe I should have worked 2 more years in real estate to just get that little stock account up even higher. And you just start to see it's sort of the keeping up with the Joneses. In America, that's a lot worse, I think, than it is over in Europe. And so when I come, after being gone for a while and then coming back here, I just started to see all the $100,000 pickups in everybody's driveway. And I'm driving a 2016 Subaru Outback, and this seeing everybody looks like, hey, have more. Maybe they have more debt and more headaches also, and they're still going to work every day, and I'm not. So that's the difference, where you have to just take a step back and take a deep breath, and then just say, what's really important to me? Is Is a $100,000 pickup truck important to me? No. Is a bigger house important to me? No. Is whatever it is time more important to me? Is not having to go to work more important to me? Once you take a step back, like these thoughts are going to creep into your head, but you have to just take a deep breath and realign yourself to what made you make the decision in the first place. So what else can you do about it? You need to realize it's not all or nothing. That's why I came up with the concept of recreational employment. You can be retired and still go to work. You can go work at Walmart for the holidays if you want to just, they're probably hiring people in there to stock shelves for the Christmas season. You can go work at a local nursery and water plants. That was my mom's dream. She always said, if I get bored in retirement, I'll go water plants at a nursery because she loves watering plants. So there's little things you can do to make a little bit of side income, fill up your day with something that you enjoy, and be recreationally employed. And try to get that structure back in. Go set up a schedule to work out at your house, or go to the gym, or set up a weekly golf outing or a weekly luncheon with some buddies, and just try to get some structure back in there. And a big one that I don't think a lot of people do, myself included, is have another person look over your financial plan. Sometimes it seems scary to talk about our numbers. I talk about my numbers on here more than I should probably, but maybe get a financial advisor, a fee-based financial advisor. I haven't done this myself, but if you're really feeling shaky on their numbers, get a second opinion. And sometimes early retirement may not be the problem, even though that's how it's manifesting itself in your brain. You know, like we've done some crazy stuff. Like at 45, we moved down to the Virgin Islands, and I was going to be semi-retired down there. And then it was way too expensive, and we had to alter our plan, and we came back here to Florida. And then we were like, we need a bigger adventure than Florida. We've been here for too long. We need something a little more exciting. And then we went to Spain, and we bought a house in Spain. So, you know, these big life-altering decisions of not working and moving to another country and buying new houses and doing all these things has been good at keeping me busy and keeping my mind occupied. But those thoughts, they still just creep in there. So it can happen to anybody. I'm supposed to be the guru, not really, but I'm just giving you my experience. But it happens to everybody, myself included. Because at the end of the day, look, retirement is not the end. It's not the final destination. It's not the end of something. It's the beginning of something new. So there's going to be transitions. There's going to be mistakes made. There's going to be, you know, you got to be able to be somewhat flexible and, you know, bug. You got to be somewhat flexible, and you got to be willing to roll with the punches and maybe change course. I didn't know we were going to buy a house in Spain when we moved to the Virgin Islands, but it's going pretty well. So you tell me, for those of you who have already retired early or on regular whatever retirement schedules the world says is not early, have you had doubts creep in? Were they financial? Were they lifestyle? Were they emotional? Were they relationship? Leave me a comment down there. Let me know what you thought the biggest second guessing of your retirement has been, or might be, or you anticipate could be. And let's keep the conversation going in the comments down there. And if you like this video, go watch this video next about some of the other problems that can creep up in early retirement.